pull. Okay.
Yes. So good.
Have a fabulous rest of the session. You guys are wonderful. You can follow me and do all the things, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Did we get her link in there for her membership?
Yeah, we're going to put your link right in here.
And yeah, because as I said, I've known Kat for a couple years now, and beautiful, beautiful woman, and everything she does is awesome. So you can't. Oh, I'm down here doing some tech. So.
Let me see.
That's the link for the membership, and then the free gift is at the top. freegift.vixendeville.
Beautiful.
I'll post that as well.
And we'll also have the free gifts emailed out to you guys for the next 2 days, so that you can go ahead and create these relationships with Kat and with Leila and with myself.
All right. I'll leave you to it. Have a fabulous one. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. I'm back. And this is interesting. So we're going to go into the next workshop, which is Become the Radically Embodied Woman, which is part of my membership and what I do and how I support women. And I'm taking a moment. Leila, Leila and I are going to have a quick conversation about it, and she can ask me questions so I just don't have to talk. And if anyone has any questions also, then they can just unmute themselves and dive in.
Yay.
Amy, can I dive in before I have to go?
Yes.
Okay. I would like you to explain a little bit more about how you have helped me so much with the dating process, so that women, this little girl, serious, intellectual, blah, blah, blah. How did I transform? What did you do?
Yes. So Lupe is a beautiful client because she actually goes on dates and she puts herself out there. And what's happening is we are working on her healing her inner child. We are working on really empowering herself and the way she feels about herself and her values, to start really getting clear on her values and what she wants. So when a man comes into her life, she gets to decide if they are aligned with her values and her desires and her spirit. Oftentimes we as women, free women, we are expressive and loving and out there, and we somehow connect ourselves to men who don't really appreciate that. So we as women, we must be very selective in the men that we choose. And also, if we are in a relationship, to make sure that we're always taking care of ourselves inside that relationship. So Lupe is beautiful in that she's committed to the process. Very committed. How is that,
Lupe? You can be older and you can date.
Of course.
69.
I'm 53 and I have a date tomorrow. So, you know what I mean? You could do whatever you want. So thank you for that, Lupe, for the opportunity to speak. But I am happy that everyone is here. And let's have a little conversation before we start. I know people are popping in.
Yeah, we've got a few more people jumping in, so we're bringing them into the room. So Amy, I'm so glad you could make it and you were able to like plan B just came out of thin air. So tell us more about, I would love to know more about yourself, and I'd love for you to tell us more about your workshop as well. So share with us some details and some info.
Yes, so I'm Amy Schadt. I am a women's empowerment coach. And I work with women, as I was saying earlier, to really empower themselves so that they know what they want, and then they can make aligned choices in that direction. I help them get unstuck from these stories that have been keeping them stuck. I get them often unstuck from relationships that they they don't want to have anymore. And I also created the Radical Embodiment Method, which is a 4-step process. Me being a dancer, performer, choreographer for over well, I've been in the dance studio for over 43 years, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. And, you know, just having this embodiment of movement, of expression, you know, is really kind of second nature to me. But I realize how important it is to have mind and body connection. Because oftentimes we just have our mind and we're working from our mind only. And we forget we have to also enroll our body so that we could move forward and take action. Because oftentimes, you know, our mind will talk us out of our desires. Our mind will tell us we're not good enough. We're not worthy. It's not the right time. It's our body is the one who's urging us to move forward. You know, I don't know how many of you feel it in your life where you have this body that's like urging you to get up or urging you to take action. And then your mind slowly creeps in and tells you why you should not do that. So this process really gets you involved, really connected to your mind and body, so that when your mind starts talking you out of something your body wants, you know how to shift it. Right? You know how to shift into resilience. You know how to shift into love. You know how to shift into confidence. And today we're going to work on confidence. It's a 4-step process. I'm going to lead you through that process of reflection, because with reflection comes wisdom. The release, which is a meditation. And the re-envisioning, which is what are the new possibilities after you release the tension and the blocks. And then the 4th is the radical embodiment. So we will actually embody confidence so that you can pull it up at any time during the week and go to that visualization. And since it's attached to your body, and now your mind and your body are communicating through a physical experience, you shift into confidence. You don't think I'm confident. Your body shifts with you, which is super important. How does that sound?
That's so good. That sounds so good. And you know what? It's like, it sounds really powerful because there's so much teaching out there where it is, like you're saying, just focused on the mind, you know, and we forget our body. We forget how powerful a vessel we have and how important it is for us, especially as women, to be connected to our body, to really feel into our body. And I love that, you know, today's first sessions are about this, are about bringing the mind and the body together. So yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, great. And I just want to say that was the vision behind this retreat. Ignite your fire. That fire is the thing inside of you, right? It's the thing inside of you really just, it's like pulsating through your body. It's a thing that does not leave you alone. It knocks on your door every morning or every week, right? So there's, in this process, what I use music. Music is very powerful. It's a powerful tool to use to shift your energy. And everyone have their journal out, because we journal during this process. So have your journal out, and I want you to first write your intention for our time together during either this workshop or the whole retreat. Like, what is your intention? Is it just to like go for it, just go through the experience? Is it to ask more questions? Is it to be active in the chat box? Like, what is your intention? Is it to really shift something, be open enough to shift something inside of you? So write down what your intention is for our time together right now. And then I'm going to have you stand up. And what we're going to do, I'm going to play some music, and I'll be speaking throughout this process to guide you, to help guide you. So the reason why I asked you to stand up, yes, the intention is to receive. Receiving is beautiful. And the reason why I'm asking you to stand up, and I'm actually going to take my shoes off also, so I'm barefoot, so that I can be grounded to this earth, to this universe. I could feel my feet. I could feel how powerful my stance is. And we're going to go through, your chakra later on, but really open up your heart chakra to the universe, God, Mother God, energy, whatever you believe in, and just really just be clear your mind and open to receive, and think about your intention. And of course, this is through music, enhancing good vibes. Yes, good vibes are beautiful. And let me just find my iTunes. And if you can also check my volume, so the music's not too loud, but it's, does the job and you can still hear me. So think about that intention and feel your feet. And just open up your shoulders. And just take a deep breath in. And exhale. And just start loosening up. Take a deep breath in, feel your feet. And exhale. And take a deep breath in. Shoulders back, and just listen to the music. Now, I want you to start from the top of your head and just notice any tension that might be in your crown or your head. And just start breathing and releasing that. Feel your ears, your jaw, your neck, and throat chakra. And just feel like you're relaxing. Feel your shoulders as they relax and let go. And your arms. And your stomach. Notice any, like in your solar plexus, your stomach, your back. Keep breathing. Just accept. Think about your intention. And relax your hips, your thighs, and really feel your feet and relax your feet and feel how powerful you are. And go to your heart and really lift your chest. And give your, if you feel like giving thanks or give some gratitude out there. All right. Does everyone feel ready? They are ready to be open? Because our next thing is you're going to sit down and we're going to journal. And if hopefully everyone feels a bit calm and shifted and ready to open up. So today I decided to do confidence throughout the radical embodiment method. We do confidence, healing grief. We're doing values next week, starting really getting clear on our values, and not only our core values, but like what values we need to adopt so that we get what we want. And every 4 weeks, 3 to 4 to 6 weeks, we change the subject. After values, we'll be doing money. So this is reflection time. And oftentimes it's hard for us to feel confident or feel know exactly what that means to us. So in this reflection time, what I do is I take the you out of it and we visualize someone else and you write about that so that we get your beliefs about what confidence actually means to you. And then I'm going to shift you into the area of your life that you would like more confidence. And I will talk to you. I will guide you through it, asking you questions throughout this process. And here we go. Okay. So confidence. What's your definition of a confident person or confidence? What do you believe confidence is? Write it down. How does that confident person walk into a room? How are their relationships? How does a confident person, how are they in their friendships? How are they in their love relationships with their partners? When a confident person wakes up in the morning, how do they wake up? What are their thoughts like when they come up against an obstacle? How does a confident person work with obstacles as they come up? What do they get to do because they are confident, do you believe? Now, in what area of your life would you like more confidence? Is it in your relationships? Is it in your work? Where would you like to have more confidence? What steps are you not taking because you're not confident in that area? What are you telling yourself about why you're not taking steps? Is it I'm too busy? I don't have enough time. I'm in an unhappy relationship. I'm not happy. What are you telling yourself about why you're not taking steps? And what do you believe you're missing out of because you're not taking the steps towards and being confident in that area of your life? Do you believe you're missing out on love, connection, money? Do you believe you're missing out on like bringing your dream to fruition? What do you believe you're missing out on because you're not taking steps in that direction? And then I want you to put a box around those sentences. So put a box around the sentences about, what you're missing out on. And also a box around the sentences that you're telling yourself about why you're not taking steps. Then I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to, we're going to do a body check here. So you're going to look at those sentences and we're going to close our eyes and you're going to do a body check. You're going to start from your top of your head and just notice your head, your ears, your jaw, your neck, your throat, your shoulders, your back, where your lungs are, your sternum, chest, solar plexus, stomach, your root, your hips, And just notice where there's any tension. Any tension when you think about those thoughts. And when you find that part of your body, write it down. And then put a heart around it. So where in your body did you feel the tension? You can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and tell me, like, where was that tension living in your body? Feel free to share that with everyone.
My temples.
Stomach and back.
The neck and the back, yes.
Oh, stomach and back.
Oh, stomach and back, okay. Anyone else?
For me, it's in the temples.
Oh, the temples, okay, good, great.
Outer hips and behind the shoulder blades.
Okay, and we got a jaw and chest. Now, this is important information. This is important information because every thought that you have in your mind lives in your body. And so it's important to have that communication and clarity so that you can start, number one, when your body signals it, you understand, oh, I'm not in my confidence right now, because your body will signal you. It's just that we're not used to feeling it necessarily. Now you have a specific region to where that confidence, want of confidence is living in your body and those thoughts. So this is a beautiful information to have. As I said, put a heart around it, because this tension is something that you get to start. Number one, have awareness about, which is the first step of the radical embodiment method, which is reflection, so that you become aware of your thoughts, of your ideas, and what your body's doing about those ideas and thoughts. Without self-reflection and defining what we believe things to be and where they are lacking or what we want in our life, it's important and it's super powerful. So I want you to really, we're going to go through a chakra clearing. And, you know, I want you to go into that area too, that specific, I'll lead you there to that specific area to release that tension. And you know what it needs? It needs love. It needs forgiveness. It needs words of like, it's going to be okay. You know, our body is asking for that communication, just like our mind asks for it. Everyone's like, oh, just think positive, whatever, you know, but like give affirmations. The affirmations must also be given to those areas that we are wounded in our body, so that they could release and not cause us angst, cause us confusion. Because they're there to help you, of course. You know, this is why you acknowledge them, you give love, forgiveness, and you give it release. Okay. So I'm going to guide you through a meditation. This is a chakra clearing so that you can re-envision something more for yourself. Because if we're blocked in our chakras, we're blocked in our energy, it's really hard for us to be creative, to be open, to be, loving, to like have that feeling of freedom. So I'm going to ask that you have a straight spine. Peggy, I love that you say right shoulder. It's very specific. That's very beautiful. Here we go. Let's find it because looks like I have to use the same. Here we go. So I have a straight spine. Just take, oh, maybe this is it. Here we go. Take a deep breath in through your nose and say, I'm breathing in through my nose. Exhale through your mouth and say, I'm exhaling through my mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose and say, I'm breathing in through my nose. Exhale through your mouth. And this time you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, but it's going to be with the blue of peace. You're going to breathe in the blue of peace. And you're going to exhale any tension. You're going to breathe in the blue of peace. And you're going to send that blue of peace to that area of your body that is tense. And let that blue of peace surround that area. Give love to that area. And just have that blue of peace sparkle through it so that that area knows that it's loved, and you hear it and you feel it, and it's going to be okay. And then have that blue of peace start expanding through your whole body. And just let it fill up your whole body. And as it hits your skin, it's going to go past through your skin about 2 inches from it. And it's going to create like you're encapsulated in peace and blue, and you are safe and you're protected. And have that blue of peace slowly start going up towards the universe, God, Mother God. And as the blue of peace is a nice long column, the universe is going to send down a column of light, which is golden. And it's full of the universe's love. And as the golden column starts coming down, it hits just about to hit your crown, and your crown opens up. And as your crown opens up, it receives the golden light. And you're going to let that golden light fill your crown. Feel any nooks, like any dark areas. You're going to fill it with the Mother's Love, God, golden light. And as soon as every space is taken up, it's going to start whirling around, making a circular motion, really awakening that chakra, releasing any thoughts, unwanted thoughts. And then the golden light is going to start moving its way to your third eye. And let it fill your third eye. And as it's filling up, it's going to fill all the dark spaces in your third eye of your questioning yourself, doubting, and just feel with the golden light and know that it comes from universal love. And as soon as every dark little cranny is filled with this golden light, it's going to start going in a circular motion. That creates inner knowing, self-trust. Just feel the motion and your knowing and how powerful you are in what you know. And then have the golden light slowly start going down and melt into your throat center. And have that golden light expand and feel it hit every edge, every nook and cranny of your throat center. Any negative self-talk, fill with that golden light, the universal love of golden light. And then it starts going in a circular motion. Creating clarity in your words. Also opening up for you to receive and hear other people. And have that golden light start going in that circular motion and have it melt down into your heart center. And as that golden light expands, feel the universal's love. Let it fill any dark crevice you have in your heart so you can open up to love, self-love, love of others. And then let it go and start in a circular motion, really creating an energy of openness, creativity, love, acceptance. And have that golden light slowly go down into your solar plexus. And let it fill your solar plexus. And start expanding out into any dark areas. Fill with that golden light of that clearing anxiety, nervousness even might be in there. And have that golden light expand. And then let it start in that circular motion, allowing you creativity, innovation, just keep it in that circular motion. Feel that energy as it slowly starts melting down into your second center. You're going to feel it expand in your second center. Any raw emotions you have in there, you're going to fill with love, the golden light. And just feel the ease of that light, calming, loving. And it starts in its circular motion as it clears out and makes way for vulnerability, beautiful emotions, and release any turmoil you might have. And have that golden light slowly start making its way to your root chakra. And as it fills your root chakra, expand and just let that golden light hit the very edges of your root chakra and like feel it, any dark spaces, and just keep that golden light expanding, expanding, expanding. And let go. And slowly let that golden light start going in a circular motion. Making way for creativity, sexuality, freedom, and slowly start slowing down that circular motion. And you're going to go to your heart center, and you're going to see that there's a gift for you in your heart center. A symbol, a gift. And you're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale out. And ground into center. And then slowly open your eyes. Would anyone like to share their gift that they got, their symbol in their heart center? What popped up? You can unmute yourself.
You are enough.
Oh, beautiful. Now, so, this is interesting. You are enough. So I want you to look at those sentences as to why you are not taking steps in that area that you desire. And that's your mantra. I am enough. That's the universe. That's your body telling you you are enough. Would you mind sharing what sentences you wrote as to why, what you say to yourself about why you're not taking steps in the direction you desire?
For me, trust with people.
Mm-hmm.
Got me in tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a PTSD survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Of military sexual trauma.
Mm.
And my trust in people has been shaken.
Yeah.
And this is why I took this class, because I'm just stepping out on faith to continue to find myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna let you guys see my tears because you saw my burlesque.
Yeah.
And that is why I do burlesque. The
Mhm.
very reason that Kat explained, finding your love for yourself, finding your intersexuality and your intersensuality,
Mhm.
being enough for yourself.
Yes.
You know, being able to just enjoy yourself and not have to have people over or friends over or have a partner.
Mhm.
Those are journeys and battles that I'm actually dealing with. So this meditation was exactly that. You are
Mhm.
enough, and you are fun alone. You are, you know, what you need to be for the people that want to pour into you and that you want to pour into.
That's right. And you know, this is the beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that vulnerable share. And I'll have to watch the replay on your burlesque because I was in the car. But this is why it's important to really slow down, to connect with universe, Mother God, God, whoever that is. And so that, you know, we can realize just how beautiful we are, just how powerful we are. And, you know, we are enough. Like, you don't have to jump through hoops to be enough. You are enough, right? And that's what your body's telling you. You know, so our mind is saying one thing, but our body's telling us another thing. Beautiful share. Thank you for that. Anyone else want to jump in and share? Because this is powerful. I know someone put in the, let's see, Lupe. Oh, so Lisa got a flower opening up like you're blooming. Love that. Anyone else get a symbol in their heart? In their heart center? Jennifer got 2 shapes like the inside of a peace symbol. Okay. Beautiful. So yeah, look back to those sentences that you wrote about, you know, what you're saying to yourself about why you can't have something. And, you know, take that symbol, take what came up for you in that meditation in your heart center and start, when those feelings come up, start that mantra. And I always suggest writing everything down because once your body is engaged, your mind and body are together and engaged, you are present. When we sit back and just listen and then we take things in, I'll remember that. I'll remember that. You're actually, you're missing, your body's not working with you. So you're missing that opportunity. Jane got a white dove, piece of white dove, beautiful. Oftentimes, you know, and this is big for me. And I, you know, coming from, you know, my fiance passed away quite suddenly. And I had to move forward and I had to find a place of peace. Like somehow I had to find peace through my anxiety, my fear, my grief. You know, when we get to that place of peace, we can move, and it's easiest for us to move. It is difficult, and I don't recommend moving in this fear and anxiety, right? And I was there for many years. But coming to peace for women especially is super powerful. And it's not a place of action. It is a place of like peace of like, even for radical acceptance, which I also teach, that, and then we can make decisions about what's next. Not perfect decisions, by the way, if I can add that. We don't have to be perfect, ladies. So yeah, I'm looking at my time. This is going by fast. So I have 8 minutes. So what I want to do is do a quick re-envisioning. I don't think we'll be able to get to the radical embodiment space, but the re-envisioning, this is where you get to re-envision yourself and with this, I'm going to ask you to write down 3 action steps that you're going to take in this position of confidence, by the way. So I will talk you through this. This is another journaling. And I'm hoping that you feel more relaxed and more open to really thinking and being bigger than those stories that you're telling yourself about why you are not taking steps towards what you desire. And here we go. It's going to be a quick re-envisioning. All right, here we go. Now, take a deep breath in. Now, you know, you are enough. You are beautiful. You can take any step you desire towards what you want. Now, let me ask you this. If you had all the confidence you desired, what would that look like? How would you wake up in the morning? What would you do? How would you feel jumping out of bed? Because you are freaking confident. You're loved. You're worthy. What would your life look like for the whole day? In your business, in your relationships, what would they look like because you are confident? Who do you get to be? How do you walk into a room? Let's go big, ladies. What are you wearing? How does it feel in those clothes as you are fully embodied in your confidence? And you're in that one area of your life that you want more confidence, and you are there. You have the business you desire. You have the love that you want. What are 3 steps that woman, you, would take towards your desired goal that you wrote about earlier? What are 3 steps that woman would take towards being more confident in that area of her life? Would she take a dance class? Take herself out to lunch? Would she tell that person in front of her, I love you? What would she do? 3 steps. And now, what are those 3 action steps that that woman would take towards her desired area of life that she doesn't feel that confident in? Anyone want to share 3 steps that you want to take, that you're going to take towards what you desire?
Trusting myself more and going for it.
Okay. So this is where we get to be specific. What does trusting yourself look like? I mean, how do we actually trust ourselves? Stop worrying, stop holding back, stop hiding. And the reason why I'm asking to get really specific, because how do you worry? What does that look like? How are you hiding? What does that look like? Right? So get like really specific about what steps you're going to take and what that actually means to you. Because hiding for me is different than hiding for Peggy. Right? I'm a recovered hider and hesitator. I used to have these big dreams and thoughts and no follow through. Hiding and hesitating. So what does that mean? What did I have to do? Was I had to, and this is about my business, hiding and hesitating about my business, right? So what I had to do, instead of say, I'm going to stop hiding and hesitating, I'm going to say, I said, you know what? I'm going to find someone who knows what they're doing and I'm going to enroll in their program. That's what I did, number one. Number two, I followed the rules of that program and I did what I was supposed to do, right? So I had to show up, right? I had accountability. Those are the three things I did to stop hiding. So be really specific, because all of us hide differently. Like I hid through silence and saying, these stories. I'm shy. That's a great hiding place. If you want to hide, say I'm shy. So anyone want to share theirs?
I'll share. This is Amy and Bonnie.
Okay, great, Bonnie. Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed and appreciate your segment. In relation to the last segment, actually, the burlesque segment, because we actually all gave ourselves a name for burlesque, the dance. So my action is to show up as the name I gave myself as Shanti, to actually show up as Shanti.
Shanti, show up, baby.
I'm going to walk down the park
as Shanti, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate the music part, because that's the part I've been hiding. That's something that, as a kid, I always wanted, but I never gotten. So I live vicariously through my children, right? I put them in piano lessons, and they're in singing lessons, and they're in drumming lessons, right? And I'm cheering them on, right? And I'm like, why don't I do that? And it's the lack of confidence, because when I do it, I can't get it. So then I'm like, oh, forget it. And I don't do it because I'm like, oh, it's just a waste of time, right? Because I can't get it. But what I got from the burlesque segment of this workshop is who cares if I don't get it? Still flaunt it. It's so that's the part I get to practice. It's who cares if I don't get it?
Yeah. So what are the 3 steps you're going to take towards that?
Right? I literally wrote play the piano, sing, and drum.
Okay, great.
I have these things in my home, right?
Yeah.
Because of my kids. So
and then what day and time are you going to express that?
Yeah, thank you.
What day and time are you going to have that happen? Because
thank you.
Listen, I'm an artist teacher, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. And I'm going to tell you, many women walk into my class and only take one class, and they're so hard on themselves. It takes the joy out of their joy. And we have to be careful of this, because every time you go into a class and think it's too hard, it's not for you, or it's, you're actually robbing your soul and who you are. And that fire inside of you that desires music. And we as women need to let go of perfection. I think that's the number one thing that holds most of us back in our life, is this idea of being perfect in everything we do. And, it's never the destination. It's always how you get there, which is about the radical embodied method also. It's like, who do you get to be in between? And in my dance, I always say there's a beginning point and then there's the trick, right? In dance, like there's this movement, trick to trick, and in between is actually dancing. So in between the first class you take until the last class you take is this space of this beautiful space for you to actually bloom and grow and figure things out. And it's not honored. And we get to shift that and honor that process. Thank you for that, Bonnie. Anyone else want to share? Jennifer, jumping in.
Sure. Well, a couple of things I wrote, getting some new clothes. I think
Okay.
some things that are, work with my body now, but not trying to hide. I think
Mm-hmm.
that burlesque help. With that, I have put checking out some art spaces, and not just, but speaking to somebody, at least introducing myself as an artist,
Right. Huge.
So I'm an artist,
Mhm.
And then the last one is kind of funny, but I said, because my husband happened to go through when he heard something at the burlesque, and he sort of looked at me funny, but I thought, well, maybe I could share the burlesque, with him, or invite him with that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So great. So what day and what time are you going to go shopping?
After this week, well, maybe I could do one thing on Wednesday.
Okay. And what time?
In the afternoon, after 1:00. I could take like an hour, and just, even if I don't buy anything, I could start looking.
Yeah. Well, because it's important for us to put the date and the time we're going to do it, and also have an accountability partner. I can email you, because I know I can email you to make sure it was complete for Wednesday. And why is this important?
I think it's important because, I realize that I can sort of hide myself with sort of the same, sweatshirts and, that kind of, just hide myself, I guess.
Yeah. And I would say to you, I would create a vision. I do vision work a lot with my clients and my people in my membership. Create a vision about how you're going to look, how you're going to feel, how just really get your body excited, because we have to get our body excited with us.
Mm-hmm.
And to really, when you go into that vision, you have to go into, God, I'm going to feel like I can put my shoulders back. I'm like, the material is going to fit me just right. It's going to feel good against my skin. Like, go into this vision.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get your body excited.
Yeah.
Right. We have to get our body like, oh, I can't wait to go shopping. Right. Because oftentimes it's only in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone relate to this? It's like, yeah, it's like, we got to be like, we have to get our body with us. We have to stop leaving it behind.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Bonnie's committing to playing music once a week on Sundays. That's a beautiful, yes, that's a beautiful day to play music. So now here we are. We reflected about what we believe confidence is. Like we have these beliefs about it, right? Then we reflected on like where can we be more confident in our own life, right? And then action, the things that we're telling ourselves, right? And what we're missing out of. This is so important for us to become aware of our own thoughts, what we believe, and what we're telling ourselves. Then we also realize where is that living in our body, right? And also, we went through the release through the meditation, and then we got our gift, the gift that our body's actually speaking to us about, who we are, what we want. And then we went into the re-envisioning so that you can create 3 action steps in that energy. You know, oftentimes women come to me and they want to make, be more powerful, be more loving, go after what they want. But it's, we need to take a step back and also start creating this foundation. So when we start rebuilding our life and our businesses and our relationships, it's on a strong foundation. It's coming from a place that is not about anxiety or fear. It's coming from peace. It's coming from like, I'm really going to figure out what this actually means to me before I take a step. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into radical embodiment. Stand up, feet on the floor. Now, I want you to visualize. You can take that person, someone you know, someone you don't know, and you're going to do a visualization. Close your eyes, feel your feet on the ground, and you're going to look out, and you're going to see someone who's confident. And get that person in your mind. And how do you know that they're confident? I want you to visualize them and see them. What are they doing? What color eyes do they have? What color hair do they have? Just observe them. Look at their body language, how they're holding themselves, what they're doing. How can you tell they're confident? How do you think their stomach feels, their belly feels, and their body? How do you think their body feels? Because they are confident. What are their thoughts like? How does their even their head feel, their mind feel? Just look at that person Look at their energy. Feel their thoughts. Notice any changes in your body because you're observing them. And then look at them, see them, and take their energy and start bringing it over to you and your body. You can breathe them in. That feeling you have about them. Their personality, like who they are. Just start breathing them in. And I want you to remember this person. And when you visualize this person, also remember their energy. And just raise your hand if you notice any shifts in your body. Do you feel different? Or you can raise your hand if you notice maybe you're standing up stronger, straighter. Maybe you feel more relaxed, at ease. Like, yeah, you feel it, Bonnie? So every time that I need more confidence and I feel like I need a little boost, I have a visualization just like this of one woman, brown hair, wearing a green suit. And this is where you visualize. And since now our mind and our body are together in this visualization, when you think of that, take that moment, like before you can go into a business meeting, before you talk to your husband, before you talk to your friend, go into this visualization so that you could shift your body into feeling confident. So you can take your stage names, visualize them, take on their attributes so you actually physically embody them with their energy. And then walk to the park, right? As such. Okay, Candace. So now we're going to move. We are going to move and just follow. We're going to also take your confident person and you're going to hold on to that energy throughout this movement. Let me move this down. I'm not going to be able to. Sorry, this is not at my usual place. So I am. Yeah, so you can see my body. Here we go. And keep that visualization of that person and how you feel. Here we go. Now, you're going to go nice, strong second position, feet planted on the floor. And you're just going to reach up and breathe. All the way up. Just open everything up. Arms. And reach up. And just visualize that person. And all the way down. One more. Shoulders back. Big, nice shoulder rolls. And you're gonna do your rib cage. Did you know you can move your rib cage side to side without your hips? And just think of that confident person. How would they move? And let's go to the front and back. and front and back. And you know, you could do a circle too and say, hey. Other side, make a circle round. Now, I really want you to breathe in and think of that person and just let go. And bring your feet together. Actually, stay there. Let's move our hips. Side to side, just loosen up. Make a circle with your hips. What? Who would that confident person move like? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to do a figure 8 hips. The figure 8, you do a figure 8. Figure 8. Yes. And 8. And let it go. Oh, the music ended. Here we go. This is not my usual music. Here we go. All right, let's move a bit to release. And really think about who you get to be. Man, you are awesome. You are here. You get to have whatever you want. You guys are awesome. Woo! Just let go of that tension. Woo! Take a deep breath in, up. Feel your crown open up. Thank you, universe, Mother God. Really feel stretched out, relax, and release. One more time, up. Come towards center. Give gratitude, thanks to whomever you want to give gratitude and thanks to. Beautiful. So would anyone like to share who they got for confidence? Who did they visualize for confidence? And what was that for you? Anyone like to share?
Jennifer, I could share, but I just want to leave space if anybody who hasn't spoken yet wants to. Be great to hear people.
Yeah. Nope, you're in. You're in.
Well, I think you've heard this one before, Amy, but it's a friend of mine who's an artist, and I imagine them on stage and just really that level of presence that they have and confidence.
Mm-hmm. And as you know, this is a practice, and this is what I did. This is, you know, how I learned doing this is when I first started dating. After, you know, my fiance passed away, I started dating like 3.5 years later, and I would embody openness. I would embody trust. I would embody these things so that I can go on the date and be as open and present and authentic as I could be. And this became a practice for me to start visualizing people in their states of openness and confidence. And resilience so that I could take the moment to, hey, I'm a dancer. We always rehearse before we go on stage. I always say, give yourself a meditation, give yourself a visualization before you go into a situation, so that you are grounded and you have an intention. The intention might be to be as vulnerable and open as possible. But you can't walk into that in a state of anxiety. You have to shift your state, your mind, your body, so that you can be open and vulnerable. And you can receive. So this is, you went through like the 4 steps of the radical embodiment method. And, you know, inside the membership, every class has some aspect of the 4 steps. So usually, like today, we went through the 4 steps for you to flush out your ideas about confidence. And the next class, what we would do is go deeper into that area and start working on vision, start working on action steps, and also to, you know, redefine who you get to be and give you different opportunities to take action. Also, within the membership, we learn salsa, cha-cha, you know, Hawaiian, all of that. I've been a dancer for over 40 years. So you get access to also learning those dances, even line dancing, you know, polka we could do, you know what I mean? It's to really, to create movement in your body and for you to start learning dances. And as you come more and more, then you know, you can start getting more creative with that. Again, it's not about the end result. It's never about the end result. It's always about who you get to be in the process and what you get to learn about yourself. And these last 3.5 years, I've learned so much about myself, and it hasn't been through success all the time. It's been in action, taking action, committed action. And if you're ready to take committed action and you want to jump into the membership, you know, I would love to have you. And I believe this is my best work. I believe this is a combination of my dancing, coaching, and my meditation, and putting it in this step process. The process works. So I would love to invite you into jumping into the membership. I will put the link in, or Leila will put the link in the chat box either way. And I know Leila's going to jump on in a couple minutes. And oh, she says 1 sec. She's getting ready. What a day today. How's everyone feeling? Good? You feeling great? Lisa, you feeling ready? So good. Yeah. I mean, we want to feel good, ladies. I mean, it's like, oh, look at the puppies coming here. We want to feel good so that, you know, we can really live out, you know, this beautiful life that we have available to us. You're welcome, Bonnie. Let me see here. Let me put the link in for you. So, and also we have a live Q&A. Leila and I have a live Q&A also. So, oh, that's her thing. Yeah. And I'm going to give you this one. If you're just ready to jump in, I will definitely. Oh my gosh, what's happening here, ladies? Here we go. Leila. I needed that today because, I told my friend Leslie, who's allowing me to in her house to do this. I'm like, I feel like I'm doing a quick change in the curtains, on stages. I used to have to do quick changes in the wings, So luckily I've had years of experience in this. But Leila Khan, why don't you unmute yourself and really, and also, yeah, before we do that, can we just think of one takeaway from our time together that you really enjoyed and that was really powerful for you? You can write it down or put it in the chat box. Like, was it the shift, realizing how powerful your body is, and that even a visualization and taking on that like really shifts you in a big way? So if you could share your takeaways or write it down for yourself, I mean, yeah. So Jennifer, I know Jennifer, can I say you're a part of the membership, and that Jennifer and I did a visualization about her being an artist and reaching out. And what was your response when I was taking you through creating that vision? Jennifer?
Nervous.
Nervous.
Sure. Not so willing.
Not so, yeah. Not so willing, right? Because it's scary for someone to ask, like, what do you really want? And what does that look like? And how many, get really specific, right? But Jennifer, you rocked it out, right?
Yeah. I started doing the action part, I think, is what really helps in the by when are you going to do that. So I wouldn't have sold this piece of art if I hadn't made a commitment to taking photos and putting them on Facebook. And I happened to send to a couple of friends, and one of them wanted the piece. So that was great.
Yay. Yeah. It's so important to have a community, to have accountability, to have, doing it ourselves doesn't work. Doing it alone, it hardly ever works. I mean, I don't know about you. If you've seen me the last 3.5 years, I have not been alone. I've had beautiful women like Leila. I've had mentors. I've had friends. They're all with me. And I'm going to encourage you, ladies out there, is to really know that there's a community waiting for you and that you don't have to go it alone. And with that, Leila, thank you, Jennifer, for that share. Beautiful. Leila, I'm so happy you're here. As I said, I met you a couple of years ago. You were on one of my summits. I invited you on, and I don't know, we just mesh, like we're so good together. Leila's so powerful and such a powerful leader for women. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what's next for them during your time.
Oh, do you know what? I just want to say, like, thank you so much for your workshop and for, everything that you've shared there. There was just such a beautiful energy. There was this like softness and this gentleness, and it felt like a comfort, like a comfort blanket, which I think in this world, we can often feel we haven't got. And you were touching on there about support and essentially feeling supported, by your network and by people in your world. And I really felt that through your workshop as well. So thank you so much, Amy.
Oh, thank you. So tell us about you. Yes, we want to.
I'm so excited. So we're going to be bringing a bit of a different vibe. But you know what's amazing? It's like what I'm going to be sharing is going to be bringing together the things that we've covered today in terms of the values, the content, the questions, the identity, and so on. So I'm going to be going into your identity. I'm going to be going into helping you to activate that and awaken these deeper parts of you that you may have forgotten about or that are under layers. So we're going to be talking about inner child, healing. We're going to be talking about kind of unconditional love, but what that actually looks like and feels like. We're going to be talking about manifesting and courage and all these great things. And I've got lots of different techniques, and we're going to be journaling. So you definitely want to have your pens and your paper and your journal with you. And at the end, I'm going to bring it together in a visualization, which will actually help you to bring together everything that has been awoken within you today. You're actually going to be stepping right into that new identity so that you can move, so that you can do what you are here to do. And it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to be able to share this wild, alive, and majestic workshop, you know, where you move mountains. And I know the title is so different, and I know you know, just my way of doing things is often different, and it takes a strong woman like Amy to know how to work with me to get used to how I work and how I flow. So hopefully you're gonna get a lot out of it.
Well, I'm excited, and I know that you want me to be your DJ. So let me
Yes.
so let me know when you want me to play music, and I will and it's meditation music, right?
Yeah, exactly. The
Okay,
meditation music would be awesome, because of copyright and all of that. So yeah, it's been such a it's been great putting this workshop together, actually, because I'm always learning. I'm always tapping into deeper levels within myself. And this is part of my own like personal energetics. And so to be able to bring it together with the content that I'm going to be sharing today, like I'm actually really excited for all of you and for myself, because there's always transformation. There's always a next level. And that's the part that I love sharing as well. So yeah.
beautiful. So you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's
All right.
go.
I'm going to mute myself, and just let me know when you want me to play some music for
Yeah.
you. Okay,
I
beautiful.
will do. Thank you, Amy.
Uh-huh.
Hey, ladies. So we are here today for Wild, Alive, and Majestic, and She Moves Mountains workshop. So what I want to do, my intention for this workshop is essentially to help you awaken different parts of yourselves that are already there, that may be asleep, that maybe you have forgotten about, that maybe you have put away under layers and layers of conditioning or ideas and so on. And I'm going to be sharing absolutely from a place of integrity, from a place of personal embodiment. I'm going to be sharing also from a place of being a role model. So something that's really fascinated me is my own journey has been so and it serves a purpose to help other people heal. And so I'm going to be sharing my stories. I'll definitely be sharing my experiences, all with the intention of this is the wisdom that I gained from going through this stuff. And I really want you to know that there's something within you that will relate to that. And you'll remember this part of you, or these parts of you, these aspects of you within your unconscious mind, where you can take this forward into your own world. So life has been a journey of becoming for all of us. Our life is a journey of becoming. Amy touched on this earlier as well. The destination is like the cherry on top. It's the thing that we're excitedly moving towards. But along the way, we are undergoing a journey of becoming. We're undergoing a journey of becoming more and more of our aligned selves. And as I said, I'm going to be sharing my stories, experiences, and wisdom gained from living a very, very full and abundant life, because I made a promise to myself when I was younger to tap into my potential and to manifest every single thing that I want, because that's what I'm here for. Otherwise, like, what the heck is the point? What is the point of life if we're not doing the things that we want to do? What is the point of life if we are not experiencing the things that we actually really, really want to, from a place of soul desire, not ego desire? So we're going to be going on this journey to awaken that within you. Notice any goosebumps that you get, notice any aha moments. I call them hashtag Leila's wise vibes, or hashtag soul vibes on my social media. So you will see them everywhere if you connect with me later. But yeah, definitely notice what your body is resonating with, and feel your hidden truths, because there's a resonance. There's a resonance there. There's something that connects within you. Now, as women, we are absolutely here to connect, and it's natural within us, right? We are, there's something about feminine energy, which is about connection. And I feel that in many, many ways, our journey of sisterhood and towards sisterhood has, for some people, for some women, they've gone left instead of going right, and they've gone left into the world of hating on other women, forgetting that other women are our sisters, and that we are meant to connect and support one another and encourage each other to really step into our personal power. I'm going to be sharing more about the depths of my own Phoenix rising and the ego deaths and moving through portals and stepping up as well. And so when I talk about these things, I'm talking about them from a place of soul knowing. I'm talking about a place of real deep introspection, reflection, journaling, coaching, mentoring, and crying a lot, and really feeling into where this inner pain has come from and what the message is. From that, a key reminder, you may have heard of this, but a key reminder is that the answers are within you. You are your own hero. You are the hero you've been looking for. And we were talking about the mind and the body connection, and what I love to do is to bring the mind, body, and spirit together. And the mind can sometimes get lost, very, very lost in the noise that's out there, through social media, through others' opinions, through comparison with others' journeys, and so on. But everything always comes down to this point, that the answers are within you. And you've got to create that space to tap into your own answers, to continue to make sure you're writing, make sure you're taking down notes, make sure you're acknowledging those aha moments, share them in the chat box, share any feedback, any questions that you have. I love that interaction as well. So share it in the box that we have. So I've always felt, I wonder if this is true for any of you here, and do share it in the chat box. I've always felt rebellious. I have always felt rebellious, and naturally rebellious by nature. And as I was writing up my notes for this session, I was like, oh my God, that's actually so very true. I've always felt like an outsider, felt different, and felt like I was constantly and continually challenging the conditioning, the societal ideas, the programming, you should be like this, you should be like that. If you're not like this, then you're doing something wrong. If you're acting like that, then you're too much, you're too this, you're too too sensitive. And I just always felt myself going against that and being like, well, actually, no. I always felt myself defending my nature, my rebellious nature, because it was always like, well, actually, this is how God created me. This is how I am. This is who I am. Why should I ever have to hide that? Why should I ever have to make myself feel small? Because, exactly like Amy's saying, it's about not putting yourself in a box, because we're not here to be put into a box. We are our own circle, you could say. You are your own universe. And so this rebelliousness, it still fascinates me, because you hear so much messaging out there where you are told to be certain ways, especially as women. And we really are truly on a mission in humanity of becoming more and more of the true women that we are. You could say more, tapping more into the goddess, more into the queen, more into the sovereign, more into the warrior, the female warrior that we actually are. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for everything. And so allowing ourselves to remember our feminine nature, whatever that looks like for us, is super important. Honoring how we want to show up. So when I was putting the content together for this session, I was thinking wild, alive, and majestic. These are words that really resonate for me deeply for many different reasons. But I was reflecting as I connected with other wild women, and I thought we all have a different way of being wild. We all have a different way of being and feeling alive, and we all have a different way of feeling majestic or feeling different, and that's okay. And I really just want to reiterate, like, we have to own that, because this world that we live in and the energies that are around do not necessarily want women like us to show up and shine and be bright and manifest every single pure, beautiful thing that we want to manifest. And that is by design, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. So I've always seen, you could say that enemy energy, that negative energy, that lower energy, I've always, from a young age, I've always learned to see it as serving a purpose, and serving a purpose for me to step deeper into my greatness, for me to step deeper into my divine connection with God, with the divine, with source. And so everything serves a purpose, and I'll be showing you how as I go more into my story. So yeah, exactly, Aisha. So, you know, naturally a rebel as well, love being different. This is about saying, do you know what? We actually all came here different for a reason, for a purpose, and it's time that we actually own that through our intention and our decision. And you could say our commitment as well, our commitment to say, you know what, this is how I've been created. This is what I look like. This is how I move through my emotions. This is how I communicate naturally. And I am so done. I am so done with diminishing that, with making myself less, with making myself too small or smaller just to accommodate an old paradigm which is collapsing before our very eyes. So we've got to be ready for the next phase in humanity. Now, we're moving into a space, I'm sure you've all seen it, you've all felt it since 2020, we've all been growing. Our new normal, I shared years ago, our new normal is actually every single human being that is called to step into inner work, that is called to step into their divine power. That is, and their divine union, that is our new normal. And it's so beautiful. Yes, exactly, the huge shifts, Amy. It's so beautiful to see more and more women in particular coming together in circles like this and saying, yes, I'm here to learn, to be activated, to move through, to step into this other level, to no longer be asleep, and to awaken to my true potential. So there were loads of questions that have changed my life. And I'm going to share some of these questions actually after I talk about my story. And again, the reason why I share my story is because we are here to connect, because I have walked a path before many others, and I know how important it is, and how important it has been for me to hear from other women sharing her story, that she also walked through the things that I was moving through, and that inspiration and that role model actually helped me to move forward. And so some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, you know, because there's so much depth, and it will evoke emotion within you, and emotion is safe, feelings are safe, and we are all okay. Like, I'm okay when I share this stuff. I'm okay. I'm in an amazing place in my life at the moment, and the power that I hold fascinates me and has come through these things. So my childhood, my family are from Pakistan. I grew up in a very strict Muslim household and in London, and I wasn't really able to be free. There's nothing wrong, before I go into the depths of this, there's nothing wrong with Islam, for example. There's actually nothing wrong with the culture necessarily, but everything on this planet has duality. And so there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of conditioning that I had to move through. So for myself, I grew up in a home of domestic violence. And as a child, I know through the deep inner work that I've done that the abuse that I experienced actually started when I was still in my mum. And the memories that I've activated just still fascinate me, that, wow, like I actually experienced that stuff and I felt what my mum was going through. And, you know, there was a lot of physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse when I was younger. And it was just constant. And when I was small, I didn't know how to move through compassion, or how to compartmentalize compassion and empathy, love, unconditional love for my mum, and how to compartmentalize safety for myself. And I'm a Sagittarius, so I have a lot of fire in my chart. I have a lot of fire energy, and I'm a manifesting generator if you're into human design as well. And so there was always just this space within me that was really angry and frustrated. And I just wanted to be happy. I just wanted to be at peace. But everything around me made me feel so angry. There was no justice. There was no fairness. It was such a confusing environment. And by the age of 12, well, in fact, I'll just let you know about my dad as well. So my relationship with my dad was, he was physically in the home, but actually not. He was physically in the home, living kind of downstairs with his kind of immediate family, and my mum and myself and my younger brothers. We were upstairs in a room in this huge, beautiful Victorian house in a city, but we were on our own. And I could no longer hold the pain. I could no longer hold the confusion. I couldn't please anybody. And it was horrible. It was so horrible. And at the age of 12, I attempted suicide. I wanted to end the pain. I wanted the pain to end. I wanted the confusion and the not knowing where to turn to end. So at 12 years old, my little body could not handle anymore. I literally couldn't handle the fight anymore, understandably as well, because it felt like this world was violent and scary and confusing. And just like, what is this? What is this? And I remember very, very shortly after this experience of trying to take my own life, I had my first spiritual awakening. I connected with God in such a deep way. It felt real. It was like this physical, real feeling, this divine energy, this power that was just all around me. And I connected deeper with my angels. And they were my guides. As a child, my inner world was the only place where I felt safe. My outer world was just violent and scary. But that inner world was something that I lived for. And connecting to God in this moment, I remember saying, okay, fine, God, I'm alive. I'm alive. I feel it. I'm still here. I don't want to just be alive. I want to feel alive. I want to feel alive. I want to be allowed to be happy. And I don't want to feel this anger anymore. So help me to help others, help me to heal. Now, as a 12-year-old, I didn't have that word. I don't remember the exact word I used, but I remember this feeling of help me to heal this anger, this pain within me, so that I can help my family to no longer feel happy, no longer feel angry, so that I can help my family to feel happy and supported and loved and rich and financially wealthy. And I promise, if you can help me do this, I will help every single woman or man out there that wants to be happy too. I will show them the way. And this became a promise. This became my soul promise at 12 years old. And that moment was incredible. That moment became a promise from this little girl. And I carry this picture with me, and I'm 41 years old now, and I've carried this picture with me everywhere I've traveled, because this little girl, she deserves the absolute best, and she still exists within me. Because what has happened to our inner child is that we've just grown up into adult bodies. But this little girl, this little boy within ourselves still exists. And so every single day I show up, no matter how hard or challenging life circumstances or soul contracts are, I show up for her and with her. And so what this promise has led me to do is to decide that my journey matters, and that I'm going to live life on my terms, and that I'm going to be bold and strong, and that I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to live from a place of integrity, and that I'm going to shatter conditioning, that I'm going to be this rebel that's just within me regardless. It's just who I am. And I'm going to show up as the majestic maverick. I'm a maverick within, and I'm going to show up as a maverick. And it's only that I look or act like a maverick against conditioning. But truly, the maverick within is who you really, truly are. So what this journey has led me to is moving through forced engagement. I was forced into this engagement to marry a cousin of mine, and I didn't want to marry him. I had so many premonitions. My intuition was just lit up like, you cannot do this, because this will lead to death. And there was so much evidence in my life, so much synchronicity, so many signs that were reminding me that I've got to stay true to my soul's mission and my soul's purpose, and trust, really trust in myself, in the divine, in God, in my soul's purpose, in life, and trust that everything is going to be fine. And what this has led to is led to me falling in love and marrying my now ex-husband, who is from the Caribbean. Again, being from a Muslim Pakistani environment, that was not the thing that would ever be accepted, and it wasn't accepted, unfortunately. And it really just brought up more of the rejection and the abandonment that I felt. As a child, my dreams were the things that inspired me, and they still continue to. And I want to remind you that your dreams serve a purpose. They are there for a reason. You are the person you are the vessel who is meant to manifest your dreams, not just for you, but for the collective, for the female collective in particular. My dreams of becoming a teacher and studying French and moving to France were just the thing that kept me going. And I moved to France. I lived in France for a while, and I had freedom for the first time. Whilst I was out there, in fact, when I came back, my family disowned me, and I was estranged from my family for about 14 years. And it was, me also choosing to leave, because it was no longer a safe environment for me to be in. And this led to me healing, this space that I had where I wasn't around my family. I literally had to stand on my own 2 feet, led to me tapping in deeper to my inner child, tapping in deeper to the divine feminine within me, tapping in deeper to the potential within me, that led to millions and to promotions, and that led to me choosing to let myself, to divorce my ex-husband, and now step on into my own feet and into my own shoes, and to take this journey as a single woman, to really stand as a powerful example of what it means to be a woman who is okay in a world that wants you to know or think that you are not okay, to think that you can't do this, to think that you're not allowed to be confident, to think that there is always harm around the corner, and to always have you doubting yourself. And as everyone went left, I was going right. And I was like, no, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust my inner guidance. I'm going to trust my inner child. I'm going to trust my desires and my dreams serve a purpose. And so what this led to is myself setting the intention to trust fall, to have a trust fall into the universe's hands, into life's hands, and to create a life of adventures and memories and traveling all over, and to manifest in my true love, my soul divine union, and to manifest in next level service. So everything that I've shared there has been a journey of me becoming into wholeness. And this is what my work is about now. It's about reminding women and showing women how we can come into living in union. And this divine union is the flow between mind, body, spirit, and our different energy bodies. Your journey is about creating home within you. Okay? If that lands for you, if that resonates, if any of this landed or resonated for you, share it in the comments, share it in a message to me. We are here to create a home within our body, within our vessel. And it is the most exhilarating, most beautiful, most like excruciating experience when we realize that there are parts of ourselves that we can't love, that we haven't learned how to love, when we come up through our pain, when we come up through our wildness, to continually say, I love who I am. I love this part of myself that I don't like. In fact, I've not put this in my presentation, but I'm going to mention it here. Liking ourselves is different to loving ourselves. I truly believe that loving ourselves is easier than liking ourselves, because love is who we are. Love is our pure, true essence. It just is who we are. But liking ourselves, that takes work. And so liking ourselves, when we think and care about what others think of us, is harder, because liking ourselves can become entangled in what will they think of me? What will they say about me? What will they believe about me? And that is what you have to put aside to say, I like myself and I love myself too. Like, I fucking like myself and I absolutely fucking love myself too. And it doesn't matter, it can't matter what my mum thinks of me, what my dad thinks of me, what my partner thinks of me, what my sister thinks of me, what my brother thinks of me, what my best friend thinks of me, what that hater thinks of me. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that I have been, and I am on, and I'm talking about all of us, I am on a journey of liking myself, which is harder until we make it easy, because loving ourselves is already there. Exactly. This is what I mean. Exactly. Thank you, Bonnie. That resonates with you about creating a home within, because our home is meant to be our home. This vessel is a home of love, a home of self-love, a home of liking ourselves and loving ourselves. So, so powerful. When you like yourself, true freedom follows. Absolutely. Exactly. This is what I mean. And this is what I want to remind you of. Okay, so let's just go into some journaling just for a couple of moments. So Amy, if you just want to play the music in a moment for about 3 minutes, in your journals, what I would love for you to do is to write down 10 things that you like about yourself. Don't think, let it flow. Amy, if you're ready with the music, let's go 3 minutes, 10 things you like about yourself and 10 things that you love about yourself, if you can get them into the next 10 minutes. 2 minutes left. Twenty seconds left. Okay, so keep the music playing, Amy, for us. All right, so what I would like for everyone to do right now is put your pens down and close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. Just put your hand on your heart and just breathe in. Take a deep inhale. And breathe in what you have written about, what you like about yourself. Breathe in this intimate moment that you have had with yourself. Intimacy equals into me, I see. So just with your hand on your heart for another few seconds, just breathe in what you've acknowledged. Connections with yourself. Always available to yourself. Thank you, Amy. Okay, if anybody wants to, feel free to share. If you want to, feel free to share in the chat box anything that came up for you. I love doing this particular exercise because it's such a beautiful reminder. It's such a beautiful reminder. Okay, so let's go into the wild. So what I've done with the content is to split it into wild, alive, and majestic. I believe I have about an hour from here. So I'm going to run through some of these activations. Let me just see. Cool. Okay, all right. So the wild part is allowing this is my definition of being wild and being a wild woman. It's allowing our aligned self to come through versus our mask self. So our wild self is our most aligned self. It's the part of ourselves where we relinquish control and let ourselves as women flow with life and trust that life has got us. Our wild self is made up of self-awareness. It's made up of our creativity, like Lisa was sharing there as well, right? Our wild self, our aligned self is creative by nature. And you'll have your own definition, so feel free as I go through this to tap into your own wild self. What words connect with you? So let me talk about soul motivations. So from my story, from what I've shared so far, you may have picked up some of my core values. And these core values, like there's nothing that I can do about them, as much as I've fought against them in some ways, in many ways. My core values have always been about freedom. Well, that's been one of my core, absolute, true values is freedom. Freedom to be myself, freedom to go where I want, do what I want, how I want, freedom to be independent, to be self-sufficient, freedom to express myself, right? Freedom to wear what I want, be how I choose to be, and so on. And freedom is like, we can see it in the world around. Now, I don't follow the news. People tell me the news. So I always get my little nuggets, you could say. But underlying everything, okay, here's what I'm going to share. So at our core, love, unconditional love, this pure divine essence of love is freedom. Unconditional love says you're free to be who you are. You're free to go and come and go and to be and to flow and to fly and to be and so on, right? The world we live in, or the conditioning that we have been fighting against, or the conditioning that we continue to come against, is control. And that's the opposite. So your divine nature is freedom, which is love. And the paradigms that we have been living through and working through and that are collapsing and breaking through is control. Control, when it's in its shadow, doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve us to the point of letting us be free. Okay, so it's always got to be a choice of one or the other. My choices as a child were, do I want to be controlled by my family, by this cultural paradigm? Do I want to be controlled in what I can do, where I can go, how I can wear my hair, what I want to wear, what I want to do in my life? Or do I want the freedom to make my own choices? And there were repercussions to that. And even still today, I would absolutely live that life again, because I am free. I am free. And to be free is what we are actually here to embody and to experience. And so other soul motivations, which are your values, which Kat tapped into as well, and Amy did as well. Your soul motivations are your highest values. So some other ones that you may connect with are integrity, worthiness, enoughness, soul growth, personal development, wealth, confidence, connection. If any of those have connected for you, just either drop a comment below or leave a reaction for us, just to show that those have. In fact, what I think would be loyalty. Yeah, beautiful. Exactly. Loyalty is so powerful. What else? What other soul motivations do you have? What else is driving you constantly? These are the things that, justice, fairness, wanting to be who you want to be, permission, and so on. These are all what matters to you. Exactly, freedom. So what we can do here, because I think it will be important to do this actually, is spend the next, good, exactly, joy, curiosity, love it. Okay, keep bringing them. Let's do this for 2 minutes, because we can do this super fast. Laughter, I love it. Exactly, freedom, connection. For 2 minutes, I want you to activate this by by writing it in your journals. So, Amy, if you can get ready with the music, 2 minutes, I'm going to put the timer on, is to write down what are the 10 most important big picture words. Everything that you've shared in the chat box are big picture words, which are perfect. Your values are big picture. The detail comes into the specifics. Okay, so 2 minutes on you go to write down your list of the 10 most important big picture words. And then I'm going to give you a mini task in that as well as you go. Off you go. Okay, so you've got 1 minute. So whilst you're doing this, I want you to pick your top 3. Okay, which top 3 are the most important to you? Number them in order. You've got 1 minute to do this part. Okay, that is our 2 minute timer over. Okay, so feel free to share the top 3 in the chat box if you choose, if you want to, or just give me a thumbs up that you've got your top 3. Those are going to be your motivators. They are unconscious. They are, well, now we've brought them out into the conscious, into your conscious. They're always going to drive you. They're going to be the things that you want more than anything. So let's see, Bonnie, family, growth and generosity. Beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. Exactly. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is what I mean, right? So now that you know what some of your core values are, they'll continue to come up. They will continue to come up. And this is good. This is good. Because then what you can do, you can go into these in more detail and then look at the thoughts, the behaviors, the actions, and so on. Lisa, love, acceptance, and courage. Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm going to be talking about acceptance. Where's my note about acceptance? I'm going to be talking about acceptance and how important that is. Virtuosity, positivity, and femininity. Should I tell you something as well? Your values, generally, they don't change. They can change, meaning you can move through your core values, but they will always come back. So we've got freedom, resilience, curiosity, beautiful, freedom, connection, justice. Love it. We're so in the right place. We're so in the right place. This is why I love like group activities like this, because we attract each other for a reason, for soul contracts, for connection, and so on. So this is so, so beautiful. Live by your values to the best of your abilities, no matter what. All right, so let's move into this. So this lesson really landed for me about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And it just landed in such a powerful way. And I was like, whoa, okay, I have got to share this with you guys. So like I said, I'm from London. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of beautiful balance of feminine and masculine energy. And I've done some amazing things, and I'm always constantly creating. And I actually moved to the countryside, and I lived in the countryside in Edinburgh for about 3.5 years. And 9 months ago, I moved back to a city, back to Glasgow. So whilst I was in the countryside, I had to go through an initiation to actually go deeper into my shadow space, and to go deeper into a place that I'd actually never been. And I did not like sitting still. I didn't like being in a space where I couldn't move, like physically, because I was literally in the middle of nowhere, and trains were like one every hour, and buses were one every hour, and then it would snow, and we're on a hill and couldn't get anywhere, didn't have a car. It was just like, oh my God, I'm so out of my aligned environment. But of course, it taught me a lot. And one of the things that it showed me, one of the things that I did, is I spent a lot of time on social media, but I fell into the programming or the conditioning of social media, which is that you just scroll and you take in other people's noise unconsciously by scrolling, reading that opinion, reading that story, reading that thing, connecting to that, looking at that picture, and unconsciously having that conversation in your mind. Oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, that person's doing better, I'm comparing myself, and it's unconscious. And I'm on it. I'm like proper aware, hyper present, and so I got caught up into all of that. And of course it served a purpose. And one of the things that I realized is that by looking so far outside of myself nearly every single day through social media, I stopped being in my power, and I fell deeply into the shadow. And I fell deeply into the shadow of stagnancy, of not moving forward. And what happened is I stopped being myself, and I tried really hard to not be myself. Okay, I'm going to say that again because this is so powerful. I tried really hard to not be myself. I tried really hard to not be as happy as my soul is. I tried really hard to not be as ambitious as I am. I tried really hard to not be as outspoken as I am. I tried really hard to hide this unconditional love that just pours out of me. I tried really hard to stop caring about humans and about other women and about children. And that goes so far against who I am. And the lesson that this really anchored for me a few weeks ago was that it's time to stop trying so hard to not be yourself. If you think about that, in what ways are you not letting yourself be yourself? When this landed for me, I was like, what have I been doing? What did I do? Why? What part of myself felt that I needed to stop being who I am? And that's when my rise up really stepped into another level. And so I want to remind you, you're free to be you. You're free from what I call caged stories. So Amy and I, you had me on one of the recent summits, wasn't it? And we talked about caged stories. And caged stories are essentially where you have created boxes, stories in a box, okay? Stories in, you could say, okay, a caged story around your fitness, a caged story around your relationship with your parents, a caged story around your financial success. Stories where you're in a cage like a bird, like birds in a cage, and you can see as a bird that you are that the door behind you, the door of the cage is open, but all you see around you is this cage, this limitation. And all you've got to do is to turn around and remind yourself you're free to fly and free to be and free to be yourself. And all you've got to do is leap. All you've got to do is tap into that courage to allow that freedom to be experienced. And so this is where courage really comes in. You need to tap into courage, activate and awaken that wild woman courage within yourself in order to move through fear. So fear and courage, you could say, are on the same spectrum. They're on the same line. They're just opposites. In order to overcome anything that's fearful, you've got to step into the courage of, I can do this and I'm going to do this. I am safe. I give myself permission to do this. Everything is okay. Everything is working in my favor. The story of fear is different to danger. Okay, so fear is just an illusion, but it's an illusion which can feel very, very real. The story of fear has to just be unraveled and shaken a little bit in order to tap into the courage that's already your personal power, and to take that action continually. The next action, the new action, the next action, the next action, and so on. Okay, so stop trying so hard to not be yourself. You are beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you are so needed. Your light and your power is absolutely purposeful, and it serves a purpose, number one, for you, but also for humanity. And so again, reminder, tap into that. One of the really beautiful things to do with this kind of part of ourselves is to remind ourselves with affirmations and statements, and powerful statements, which give you that comfort. I am safe, I am loved, I am taken care of, I am supported. And this also opens a gateway for forgiveness. Yeah, so forgiveness is just you letting go of the weight. Forgiveness is just you releasing and letting go of any weight that you are carrying, burdens, cage stories, ideas, past actions, things that have happened in the past that you're not letting go. They have to be let go in order to move forward. Okay, so I want to move on to daring. So this is tapping into that courage again. So this question is a great question. Write this down for yourself. Do you dare to be all that you came here to be? Do you dare to let yourself dream wildly? Do you dare to let yourself be wildly courageous? Wildly beautiful, meaning you're beautiful in a way that you feel beautiful. Can you let yourself be wildly wealthy, wildly happy? Can you let yourself, and can you dare yourself to live life on the edge? It feels scary, right? Or it feels something, and it's meant to. Now, here's what I truly believe, that, of course, the comfort zone is just the comfort zone. The comfort zone does not have any growth. And we are actually here for growth. Those of us who are here, those of us who are on a soul mission to add value to this world before our light goes out, before our flame goes out, we're meant to be continually growing. And our life is meant to be on edge. And, like, I do take it to the extreme. I definitely do. But tap in for yourself. How close to the edge are you willing to walk in order to step into your next level, in order to be all that you came here to be? You are the only person who can answer that. But let those words land for you. Living your life on the edge that feels right and true for you. Exactly, right? We're not meant to. So here's the thing, right? When you're on the edge, it's not bottomless. The edge, over the edge, is not bottomless. Over the edge, the net always shows up. And the net shows up in the form of in the form of, you say, affirmations or self-talk or whatever it might be, but it shows up in the form of I am safe, I am loved, I am taken care of, I am provided for, I have the confidence to overcome this and to move through this, right? And so the net always appears when you take that leap, but you're never going to know until you take that leap. And that journey of bringing that courage to the forefront is your own journey. It is something which in my Soul Boss membership, I teach you through, I take you through, and I remind you that courage is there for a reason. It's not just there to sit and feel pretty or whatever it might feel like. Living life on the edge is just next level growth, which serves you and serves humanity. So what I want to do, Amy, if you can get ready with some music. I think the one that you played actually just there, this is a question that I'd like for you to answer and to journal on. If you could be who you really want to be, who is she? Or who are you? So I'm just going to put that into the chat box, okay? So we'll start with 2 minutes. We'll go with 2 minutes. No, actually, we'll go with 3. I feel like 3 is calling. Okay, so 3 minutes. If you could be who you really want to be, who would you be? Who is she? Who are you? On you go, 3 minutes. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, 5 seconds left. There you go, and we'll come back to the room. So it's the teacher in me that comes out, and I can't help it. It's literally like counting down, and in French, because I used to teach French, I'd count down all the students all the time. So yeah, just keeping everyone on track here as well. All right, so feel free to share in the chat box if there was like one word or a sentence, whatever you want to share in the chat box about the woman that you could really become, the woman that you really want to be. Who is she? I feel as if for somebody, their soul came through with the name for their higher self. You'll know. Okay, so I really feel like something powerful came through for one of you ladies here. Okay, so remember, this journey of becoming is a journey of your identity. It's a journey of stepping into that next level. You know, whatever it is that you're moving through, if you're moving from not feeling confident to confident, that's a journey there. If you're moving from feeling confident to wanting to embody that confidence, that's another journey there as well. All right, so the next piece, your feelings and your emotions absolutely matter, and positive thinking is BS. Positive thinking is BS. Why do I say that? So at 12 years old, after attempts to take my own life, the school, of course, found out what was going on and how difficult everything was for me at home. And in the 80s, I think now maybe I would have gone into care or been fostered for a short time. But at the time when I was younger, in the 80s, it wasn't really the kind of thing. And Asian families, the community kind of protects itself in a lot of ways. And I started counseling. So the school set up a counselor for me, and I was able to work with this woman called Barbara, and she was amazing. She really helped me to speak out everything that I had repressed, everything that I'd shamed within myself, everything that I have had suppressed, everything that I was told, where I was not good enough and so on. And the greatest lesson that I learned from counseling, the greatest lesson that I learned from speaking to somebody, a coach, a mentor, a counselor, is that positive thinking is bullshit, because we are on a journey as humans to tap into our full emotional spectrum. The conditioning that exists out there tells us to always be happy. But if you're not actually feeling happy and you're just faking being happy, you're not actually happy. Those feelings and those emotions underneath are still percolating, they're still bubbling, they're still doing something. And what is actually happening is, by not acknowledging those feelings and those emotions, we end up manifesting circumstances and situations of those vibration, even if we look and act all happy-go-lucky. Right? So the biggest lesson for me through counseling from that age was, I need to speak about my feelings. I need to talk about my emotions. I need to unleash and release and let go. Whatever it is that I'm feeling, whatever is right and true for me within in that moment, let it go without any shame, without any judgment, without any disrespect to my inner world. Let it out. And I let it out through writing, through speaking, through dancing, through movement, through kickboxing is one of my absolute favorite things, through exercise. And as I release and unleash and acknowledge the feelings and the emotions within, my positivity radiates, because it's from a place of peace. It's from a place of, I actually feel positive, meaning I know I can do anything. I know that I'm taking care of myself. I know that I'm loving all parts of myself. This is what positive thinking is. And so I want to really share with you here that your feelings and your emotions matter, but they are not your deciding factors. You are the boss of you. The highest iteration within you is the decider. You command your dreams. You command the universe. In fact, you are literally the center of the universe, and you get to command every single thing that you desire, you get to command the universe to work in your favor when you acknowledge that your emotions don't decide for you, your feelings don't decide for you, your thoughts don't decide for you. The deeper part of you decides what you want and what you want to experience. So when it comes to emotions and feelings, don't repress them, don't suppress them, don't hold them down. Do whatever it takes to unleash them, to release them in safe environments or through safe practices like journaling, like crying, talking to friends, speaking to a professional, absolutely. But stay detached, because here's what happens, and this is what happened to me in the countryside, in my countryside chapter. But I see this so often with women as well, is that, and men, they stay, or they become attached to the feelings and the emotions. And that's not what emotions and feelings want. Emotions and feelings want you to move through them, to transmute them, to shift from the shadow into your power. Okay. And so, yeah, I would definitely highly encourage you to be grateful for your emotions. If you follow me on social media, you'll often see me sharing pictures of myself, where I've cried or been upset, and I talk about grief, I talk about abuse, I talk about whatever it might be that's going through for me. And it's such a reminder that this is what authenticity is. Your human journey is a journey of authenticity. And we've been encouraged to not be authentic. We've been encouraged to wear masks over our true feelings, over our emotions. We've been encouraged to wear masks over our soul. And our soul is like the strongest, most beautiful aspect and part of ourselves that is here to change the world in some way, shape, or form. All right, so actually, this is a really kind of nice segue, you could say, into, from emotions, is releasing them. Create safe environments for yourself to release and unleash. Okay, so scream, cry, punch into a pillow, like punch into a punching bag, or whatever it might be, whatever it takes to be authentic, because exactly as you are, you already are enough. And that is where the self-talk comes in, and that's where the inner work comes in, is reminding yourself that you are enough exactly as you are. So here I want to talk about divine order and divine order in chaos. So from the outside, as I've gone through all these different life experiences, it has often looked as if my life is chaotic, but I've always been in control, meaning I've always been in command of that chaos. And there is divine order in chaos. Write this down if this resonates. There is divine order in chaos. The feminine energy that most of us here hold is chaotic by nature. Feminine energy is flowing energy. Now, if you were to imagine a tree, and that tree, solid oak tree or a willow tree, I believe is one of the strongest trees, but we'll go with an oak tree, a solid oak tree. The oak tree is stable. The oak tree has structure, and the oak tree has its roots in the foundation, right? It's solid. Imagine that this tree has leaves and branches and so on, and that there is wind flowing around and moving around this tree. This flow is feminine nature. The tree is the masculine energy within you, right? So this masculine energy within you is stable, solid, it's structure, it's a foundation. It has its roots, the roots in earth. The feminine nature is the wind around, and we all know how soft and gentle and breezy the wind can be, and we also all know how stormy and wild the winds can be as well. And our feminine nature wants to and needs to move through her chaos, but held by the structure, held by the masculine within. And this masculine exists, of course, within you. It's not about a man. It's about your masculine energy that holds you together. Your masculine energy is embodied in your self-talk. It's embodied in how you see yourself. It's embodied in how you give yourself permission to be all that you really, truly are. Really, really powerful. So allow yourself to be in your feminine nature, no matter what it looks like, without any judgment, because your masculine within you holds you to be all that you are. So super quickly, I'm just going to share, like about 9 months ago, I think it was about 9 months ago now, I had moved from the countryside, and I had a really, I moved in with a supposed friend, and I had a feeling and intuitions and dreams that what was it, that something bad was going to happen, or something was going to happen. Now 5 of my female friends messaged me, called me, and let me know, including my mum as well, letting me know that they either had a dream about me, they had a bad feeling, they had an intuition, or something that they couldn't put their finger on. They were like, I just have a really bad feeling. Are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yes, I have exactly the same bad feeling, but this is the right thing for me to do, to follow my inner guidance, to follow my intuition. Long story short, turned out this girl, this woman was completely crazy, toxic, psychotic, and I'm not using these words lightly. She had hidden a lot of that stuff and that side of her from me, until it came to the point where she essentially made me homeless, and I ended up with nowhere to live, with nowhere to stay. And it was a 3-month, 90 days, pretty much 90-day journey. And I knew I was going into a portal. I knew I was going into timelines. And I knew that I was going to come out of it on the other side, but I had to go through this portal. And I was just like, right, we're collapsing time. We're doing whatever it takes to stay focused, to trust this fall, this trust fall, and to remember that there is divine order in chaos. Here is how the divine order showed up. Synchronicities, people showing up with exactly what I needed at exactly the moment. Every single time I made a decision, I manifested exactly what I wanted and what I needed. I stayed focused on what was important in that present moment. And I just knew that everything was going to be okay, and that I was going to come out of it a different woman and stronger. And so this divine order in chaos is the thought and the vibration, the frequency that helped me to navigate it, to be in the city with promotions left, right, and center, with so much money coming in, so many amazing opportunities. Like, my life is completely different now. And I'm so happy about it, because I knew that I could trust myself in that chaos. I knew that there was divine order. So I hope that resonates for somebody, and that there's something in there for one of you. Okay, so within that as well is your story of deciding that you are going to overcome everything that you have ever been through. You're not a victim. So the victim is the shadow. And you move from the shadow into your power. So the victim moves, the archetypes move from victim into warrior. So tap into that part of yourself and remember that now, here's the thing. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim of my circumstances. I am a legal victim. There are things that have happened where people have tried to hurt me. And I've gone to the police and I've taken the actions that I needed to. And so I am a legal victim. But my identity is not that I am a victim. And again, this is where your transformation work comes in, is about your identity. You are not a victim, you're a warrior. Remind yourself of that. You were born strong and soft enough. So unleash this wild woman within you, unleash the fury, unleash your transformation, unleash the growth, and allow this momentum to carry you forward. What is fascinating, what came through for me when I was writing this, was this beautiful question. And I'm going to share it in in the chat box is, how many women could you be as one woman in this lifetime? So I'm going to leave this question with you for you to write in your journals and to work through later on. How many women could you be as one woman in this lifetime? Can you see yourself moving through being a victim, being a warrior, being a lover, being a magician, being a queen, being sovereign, being majestic, being a maverick, whatever it might be? Can you see yourself as a woman being many women, different iterations of yourself in this lifetime? This is where the identity work and personal transformation is just next level. We're not here to be the same. We're here to move, to grow, to shift, to step into new levels and layers. And we do this by realizing that there are different layers and iterations to us. So I'm going to leave that question with you as we move into the alive part. So I spoke to you guys earlier about my 12-year-old promise. I keep this picture of my younger self. I must have been, I don't know, 6 or 7 here or something like that. But I keep this with me, and this has traveled the world. This picture has traveled the world with me. And I see it and I remember what my soul's promise is. And I also see it and I remember what my core questions are. So these questions, I'm going to share them in the chat box. I'll speak them out first. So these questions are super important for you to navigate and move through your kind of journey, stepping into your personal power. What do I want? Oops, what do I want? What do I not want? How do I feel? Or how do I want to feel? Okay, so these questions every single day, all day long, I ask myself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I not want? And how do I feel, or how do I want to feel? Drop for me in the comments. Drop a 1 if you focus, if you focus more on what you want, and drop a 2 if you focus more on what you don't want. Drop a 1 and a 2. 1 for what you do want, you focus more on what you do want, and drop a 2 if you focus on more what you don't want. Excellent, great, okay. This is brilliant. All right, so here's the thing. Knowing what we don't want is so powerful. So I'll give a quick example. When I divorced my ex-husband, he gave me lots of evidence of what I didn't want in a man and what I did not want to experience with my true love, right? And what that showed me, what that taught me, is I would constantly journal. It's 444555 on the recording, just so you guys know if anyone's into angel numbers. Knowing what I don't want shows me and teaches me what I do want. Yeah, 1111, I love it. Yeah, so what we don't want is just as important as what we do want. But yeah, bring it back all the time. Bring it back all the time, okay? Yay, awakening. We are in a really, really powerful space at the moment. All right, so I think I've got about 15 minutes left. Amy, unless you're going to tell me I've got 5, just can you drop me a message and let me know how much time I've got, please? Okay, so those questions, work through them, journal through them. This feeling of aliveness, I wanted to feel alive. I know I'm alive. Great, I'm alive. So many people, billions of people are alive. But who actually feels alive? Thank you. Who is tapping into really feeling alive? This life that we have is beautiful. It's powerful. It's a blessing. It's a gift. And so many people are walking through life taking their heartbeat for granted, taking their inner world for granted, taking their dreams and their desires for granted, and taking their life for granted. And I was just on a mission. I was like, no, I'm here to feel alive. I am not going to take my life for granted when it could have been taken away just like that. Not just from my own actions as a child, but from the actions that others like did to me. And so being grateful, exactly, being grateful for my own life is everything to me. And encouraging that gratitude and appreciation in others is something that I love to do. So here's the thing, when we are grateful for our own life and for our own heartbeat, you're actually activating a frequency within yourself that is life changing, that you end up creating a field of really powerful vortex that magnetizes everything to you, everything to you. Now, I don't think we're going to have some time because there's content that I wanted to cover with you. But after this session, I'd love to encourage you to do this thing where you feel your heartbeat for 5 minutes in meditation. So I've got a free meditation on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I've just shared it in there. So this meditation, I call it the Gratitude and Miracles meditation. And I did this meditation every single day, and I still continue to do it, and it manifested miracles for me. So what I would do is I would go into meditation, I'd close my eyes, I'd focus on my third eye, and I would focus on my heartbeat. And on every heartbeat, I would say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over again. And I did this consistently for years. And I started to manifest miracles just like that, because my field, my aura was activated to the highest, most positive vibration and frequency of this universe. So of course I'm going to manifest miracles. Of course I'm going to manifest opportunities. Of course I'm going to manifest joy, happiness, abundance, success, and every single thing that I desire. And it blew my mind. So like I said, there's a free meditation on my YouTube channel. I can share the link with you later. And I've given you the kind of a super quick descriptor of that in the chat box. All right, so this next part about really feeling your aliveness is about having an attitude of like, who gives a fuck? The middle finger attitude of, this is my life. I'm here to make every single dream come true. I'm here to be my full potential. Otherwise, what is the point? What is the point of life if you are not here manifesting your full potential? And on that, a few people are not going to like you stepping deeper into your power. Most are going to be inspired and activated by you saying, I'm going to write that book. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to manifest millions. I'm going to go for that promotion. I'm going to ask for a raise. I'm going to have my family. I'm going to manifest the love of my life and be in divine partnership with this person. I'm going to do whatever it is that is within you, and you're going to make the most of your potential. Now imagine if we still have 40, 50, 60 years to live, 30 years, 20 years, whatever it might be. Imagine that every single moment is full of infinite potential, and you can manifest whatever you deeply desire by focusing succinctly into that present moment. Manifest miracles. It can happen. It's amazing. So on this, about the kind of who gives a kind of attitude, I want to talk about ambition. So I'm super ambitious. I'm sure you guys have figured that one out. Are you guys ambitious? Just put it in for me in the chat box. Are you an ambitious woman? Because if you are, we need you. We need you to keep rising up. We need more examples of women owning her ambition unapologetically. Yes, exactly. This is what I'm saying, right? Yes, exactly, Aisha. Yes, Amy. We are ambitious women. If you're an ambitious woman, drop it in there. Here's the thing. Hustling is not a bad thing. Hustling is not about the actions that you take outside. Hustling is not about taking yourself to burnout. Do you want to know what hustling actually is? Hustling is an energy within yourself of momentum. Hustling is an energy within yourself of ambition. Hustling is an energy within yourself of creativity. Hustling is the energy of moving forward, upward and upward, claiming more and more, being better and better each and every single moment. That is what true hustling is. And you're not going to hear this on social media or read it on social media. You're not going to hear people talking about it, because here's the thing, an ambitious woman is a hustler. She's hustling, moving that energy within herself, moving that energy, shifting it through self-love, through self-worth, through enoughness, through desire. But guess what? The conditioning wants you to believe hustling's a bad thing, hustling's a bad thing. The only thing you need to do if you're a hustler like myself, the only thing you need to do is to ensure you give yourself cycles of rest. The only thing you need to do, it's not the only thing, but it's one of the most important things that you need to do, is to give yourself permission to rest, to take care of yourself throughout your day. Go and meditate for 5 minutes, go for a walk, do some painting, crochet. I love crocheting, complete contrast to everything else, to most of my energy. But what it does, it helps me to replenish that hustling energy within me so that I can continue in my ambition. So I hope that's resonated for somebody or many of you here. All right, this feeling of aliveness. I've got like 8 or 9 minutes. Okay, the phoenix rising from the ashes. I can't go into too much detail about this, but I do want to share that we as women are rising from the ashes. Like, this isn't just myth and hearsay or whatever. Right, we're moving into a time where 2027 is going to be, there's going to be a huge shift where we are moving into the sleeping phoenix rising. The sleeping phoenix, oh my God, I got goosebumps just as I said this. If you got goosebumps or aha moments, just share it and let us know. The true epitome and archetype of the phoenix is rising, and by 2027 we will have shifted on this planet into a new energy within all of ourselves, where the individual matters, where your soul journey matters, your choices, your decisions and your actions matter. And they matter because they are creating generational wealth. We are healing generational trauma. We are healing mother and father wounds collectively on a greater scale. We are fulfilling soul contracts, and you are remembering that you are the hero you've been looking for. So like I mentioned right super briefly at the beginning, my human design is manifesting generator. I'm a 4/6, which means I'm a role model and a connector, but my incarnation cross is the sleeping phoenix. And the sleeping phoenix is the one who rises from the ashes. So my soul is like catapulting me through the next 5 years into a new identity of the sleeping phoenix rising up, so that I can teach others, and so that you can also be ready, so I can teach you guys how to go on a similar journey into your iteration as the phoenix. So I'm super, super excited that you guys are here. One more thing that I want to share, well, there's quite a few more things, but another activity that I wanted to give you guys is about celebrating how far you have come and what you have overcome. All right, so a couple of minutes left. So what I want to do is I want to leave you guys with a few questions, and I'm going to talk about trust as I move into the majestic maverick aspect. Okay, so this first question that I want to share with you is all right, the truth of it is the only fact that I believe in is that our life is going to end, our flame is going to die out, is how I describe it. Death is a fact of life, and it actually doesn't have to be as depressing or sad or you know, I think it's going to be, our perception of death is going to be moving into its new iteration. when our flame is out, or when your flame is out, what do you want to look back over your shoulder and see? Like I shared, at 12 years old, I had that experience, and death just felt like, you know what? Death is inspiring me to live my life, to be happy, to actually be successful, to make as much money as I want to, so that I transform generational wealth within my line and lineage. What do I want to do? What will make me happy? What will light me up? Focus on that and ask yourself, when your flame is out, what do you want to look back over your shoulders and see? What do you want to see? Design your life accordingly, and feel your heartbeat as you live through your life. All right, we're coming to a bit of a close. I'm just going to cover the majestic maverick part. So the majestic part, being a woman who moves mountains, is about recognizing your sovereignty. You are a sovereign being. You're not a victim. You are not, in terms of the archetypes, there's the kind of the prostitute archetype. And we're moving out of any form of undervaluing ourselves, not holding our true value, not, holding, kind of shining less, making ourselves dim and so on. We're sovereign beings, and you get to give yourself permission every single day to own your personal power. You are free to choose. You're free to be. You're free to decide. You're free to trust your moves, trust yourself, and trust your journey. In a world that wants you to doubt yourself, go the other way and trust yourself. Listen to your guidance, trust your moves, trust yourself, trust your journey. Take action, because without action, there isn't any transformation. There will come a point, maybe for yourself, like I had to, in the countryside, I had to sit still. I had to go into a space of, my soul is not letting me move, because I need to be in this space of deeper soul healing. And, the lessons and the wisdom is still coming through. But boy, am I ready to move, and have I been moving, right? So take action, get it done. Like I said, hustle is not constant movement. It's an inner movement of feelings, energy, and thoughts. And I'm really not going to have time to go into this. For your masculine, see your God. Okay, this is what I'm going to share with you guys, right? This divine ultimate energy within you, of God, the universe, or life, see it as your lover. Your lover. Loving you, providing for you, taking care of you, supporting you, always being there for you, never letting you down, never letting you feel like you are alone, never letting you feel like you can't do what you need to do and who you are here to be. Your ultimate lover. This archetype is such an incredible feeling and energy to tap into. And this is what you are calling into your world. When you can fall in love with yourself, when you can fall in love with life, when you can fall in love with the pure divine energy that is so powerful, you have actually transformed your world into something that was only a dream. And that's what I want to see more of. That is what I want to see more and experience more of and connect with more of. That women are saying, you know what? I am powerful, and my power doesn't hurt anybody. My power only makes this world a better place, because I am not giving up on my divine source. I am not giving up on pure love. I am not abandoning, rejecting and denying or repressing this purity that I came here with. And I am more than happy to do whatever it takes to heal, whatever it takes, no matter what, so that I can be in my essence, so that you can be in your essence and in your true frequency. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys know super quickly about my Soul Boss Academy. This is my monthly membership, and this is our space where we tap into personal transformation. Thank you, Amy. The link is in the chat box there for you. We tap into your personal transformation so that you can manifest with so much ease, with so much grace, but you manifest your life your way. You manifest your business your way. We bend time, we bend reality, we collapse timelines, and we get clear on who it is that you are here to be. And we do it by bringing your heart, your body, your mind together in union, so you are whole and confident in who you are here to be. So the link is in the chat box there. It has been such a pleasure, and if you feel it resonates for you, come join us. It's been such a pleasure being here with you this evening. Thank you so much for holding this space. Thank you so much for all of your engagement and your interaction. I so love it. And I'm in a really powerful space right now. Amy, come join me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Woo! That was beautiful, Leila. Lots of shifts. I hope everyone got in the beautiful questions. And as you can see, Leila is such a special person. And why I gravitated towards her, of course. So what were some big takeaways from you guys out there? You want to unmute yourself and tell us? Great reminders. Thank you.
I love Trust Your Journey, because a lot of these were great reminders, some things I knew, but it's so easy to slip back into the not trusting and not seeing this as the journey. But yeah, so.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because trust is something that you want to talk, Leila, or do you want me to? Well, trust is something that, I personally had to learn how to trust after my fiance passed away. When things happen to you at such a traumatic level, rebuilding that trust is super important, and it's powerful, Anyone else want to jump in with some takeaways?
I just want to say one more too.
Yeah.
The idea of how many women could you be as one woman in this lifetime was so, I needed to hear that, because I always thought I'm going in so many different directions. I'm doing so many things. I'm sick of being tired of the call the Renaissance woman, because I feel so spread out. And this reminded me that no, I can be many things, and many things happen. I just have to focus. I just have to figure out how to do it, right? Yeah.
Let it be messy. Let it be messy. Some of us are just literally, we are designed to do many different things for a reason. So it goes back to what you were saying about trusting that journey, trusting your journey, and just letting yourself just enjoy it all and do it all and trust it.
Yeah, and it's important that you don't stop that energy either in yourself. You can kind of like start containing it, like start focusing it, but you don't want to think that energy, there's something wrong with that energy. Because as a creative, that's who you are. You're a creative, and us creatives, we can't feel bad about that. We get to create, we get to be creative, and we get to really hone in. It's interesting because you get to now hone in on being more decisive. Like you get to learn how to be more decisive and more discerning, which is a gift, It's always like, what do you get to learn and be, and it's like this creative energy about, it's no shame or like, I'm not doing this. It's like, well, how can I figure out how to be more decisive and more focused? I mean, it could be a very beautiful creative process for a creative, right?
Yeah.
And to embrace our creative self. I mean, for years, it's like, being a dancer, it's like, being an artist, it's like everyone's telling you not to do it because you don't make money. You don't make money, but I still had a great time. You know what I mean? But it allowed me to explore myself and get into me more than anything else would have. That's what was important to me. Like, who we get to find out who, it's freaking amazing. Anyway, I jumped in. My biggest takeaway, I love the tree. Okay. Because that's how I feel every day. It's like, and the last 3.5 years, the more I've honed in on being an entrepreneur and like really taking that creative energy and using it in a focused way, that tree really hit me.
Wow.
And when that wind is blowing, watch out.
A hurricane.
I love that because the foundation of who I am is super strong, and it's in my body too, right? That trunk.
Yeah. And the roots go so deep, and they go high as well. A tree is connected to the cosmos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going up, and so that power that we hold in our energy, just with that analogy, it's like, wow, just like I've always been known as being like the strong one, and I'm strong, but I'm soft. I'm strong because I'm solid within my knowing, and I'm soft because this love just comes through me, and I refuse to hate myself, and I refuse to hate others just because this world will make you, like, conditions you to be divisive, and to hate. I just refuse to do it. And so when we're solid and we're strong in our own trunk, we get to be soft and flowing in our own beautiful divine nature.
So true. Anyone else want to jump in? What was some takeaways?
I think you guys both sound like my spirit sisters. To release, I had to take my robe off for that one, and because I could relate to you, Amy, as a creative. I'm also a circus artist and a fire performer, and so having that confidence, and I'm also a burlesque performer. Having that confidence within, especially with what Kat taught, along with the knowledge that you all are providing, which is it's like a cleaning out of a system, internal and externally. And that is so important when you are, exuding confidence, true confidence. And so for me, this was just a takeaway of releasing my emotions through my creativity, continuing to do that, continuing to believe in myself as I, do that. I come from a Southern, background from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm all the way in the United States with you guys. So I'm a country girl. If you guys know anything about Elvis, I'm from, that city where Elvis's home resides.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I come from a Bible Belt city that does not believe in burlesque, and especially women of color in burlesque. So I have a few barriers that I just continue to I will not allow to break me. Instead of breaking the barriers, I will not allow them to break me. And so those are the things that I could take away from what you guys were saying, is to just continue to hold strong in what you're doing and believe in yourself and manifest your dreams and your aspirations, and, have a safe space and a safe circle to do that with. And I felt safe. I don't know anyone here, but I felt safe with each and every one of you, spirits and souls. And I thank you all for taking this beautiful time to just enjoy. This was absolutely amazing. So I appreciate you guys. And I just took away so much peace with this retreat. So thank you for the time.
Thank you. I will receive that.
Yes.
And I will tell you that, the more you embody that and work through that, and really, man, you're gonna just, your performance, everything just it's just amazing. I found that in my own dancing, after years of being critical of myself, perfection, walking off stages, focusing on all the things I did wrong. Now, my dancing has transformed into such a way that's like beyond the, today. It's like hooked up to Mother God. It's hooked up to my intuition. It's hooked up to my creativity in the higher space. It's not low level anymore.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So what I do, I'm going to give you a little, really, open up your crown and hook up to love's universe and just allow that channel to come in when you create. It's a beautiful process. It's without restriction, because what flows from you is hooked up to something bigger than you. I'm excited for you.
Same. I'm just like, I'm just taking this in. Honestly, this energy is so powerful, and we've created a vortex. We've created a space where we've said this is what we want, this is what we need, and this is what we're here for. And it's so important that we take whatever we've learned and we take that vibration, that frequency out into our worlds, and we do something with it. We wanted to create an experience where it's about movement. It's not just about content, because that's out there, and that's the point that I was making about the noise. Like, the noise is out there, but we have got to embody our own growth. We've got to embody our own intentions. We've got to embody change and transformation, because there are people who are looking up to us or looking towards us or asking someone to just say the thing that they're feeling or do the thing that they want to do, and they just want an example. And so we wanted to create a space and an experience where there was movement, and it wasn't just take it all in, do something with this, do something with whatever resonated, and change this world, because Lord knows we need it.
Yeah. So is any questions coming up or any other takeaways someone wants to share during our time together?
Anything in the chat? If anyone's shy, go ahead.
You can go ahead. Yeah. Oh, are you muted, or can we hear you, Lisa? I think it's Lisa.
Oh,
yes.
I thought it was I unmuted. Well, I just want to share another thing that I really do appreciate this workshop you guys put together, because it was really interesting. The last workshop you did, Amy. I did have a very interesting situation, because I had been having a lot of lung issues, a lot of different, not related to COVID. Now, it was very kind of mysterious, and and then it was about, something being in the body, and I hadn't connected that I really need to get back to my singing. And that kind of came up for me. And then I realized, oh my God, that's like my lungs. It's really bizarre, but I hadn't connected it. And I was starting to think, oh yeah, my body is like, I need to do that. So I don't know, I sound silly right now.
No, your body is asking you to sing again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that was pretty big.
And how long have you been singing, may I ask?
Well, I'm a songwriter and and a performer. I mean, I started performing, and I had a lot of issues, like having a hard time with a band. Like, I have rhythm issues, but I'm an amazing songwriter. So I was always, was trying to be a singer, but I was struggling. And I also don't accompany myself very well. I can't seem to play something and sing at the same time, but I'm a hell of an a cappella singer.
Okay.
But I was mainly concentrating on songwriting and all this, and I've written all these things and written musicals and blah, blah, blah. But I don't mean blah, 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 but I guess what it is I stopped performing, and that's really been a frustration. And so reminded that, okay, you know, find the ways or just figure it out, but I need to keep singing because it is kind of part of the whole thing.
Yeah. So the question is, how long have you been singing too? Like how
I'm
many
really
years
old.
have you been singing?
I've been singing for well, a long time, but see, that's what I don't even step into it and own
Like
up to
20
it.
years, 30 years? Like how long have you been singing? 10
I
years?
am going to be 60 this year.
Okay. So how long have you
And
been singing?
I've been singing since I was a girl.
So
You know,
give
I
me the
mean,
years.
like, I don't know. I mean, since I was little, but so at like a good 50 years I've been singing.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. So this is it, right?
And
So
it's kind of seems pathetic too, because it's like, man, I couldn't get it together in 50 years.
no. I want you to take one step back from that
Yeah.
thought. And I want you to really realize that for 50 years, you've been doing something that your body knows and understands. Then you stop doing it. And the reason why I say this is because your singing, that whole experience, the way that your body's made up, your lungs, everything is all been trained to sing and be that.
Mm.
And that's the beauty of our body, right? So it's like there's this thing inside of you that is a physical thing and a passionate thing. And then you cut both off.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
And then I would say that your soul is like, what? And your body's like, what's going on? I thought we used to sing. Like, well, I used to have air in my lungs. I used to like express. I was able to take this energy and express it out. These are things that are important.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just things we do. It's who we are in a cellular level also.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like my body is a dancer. I've been dancing for over 43 years. My body's when I do yoga, it doesn't work. Right? That's not the way my body is set up. And your body's like used to the lungs and opening up and the singing and the expression. And think about all those like molecules and like oxygen and like cells and then like, you know, that vibration coming up. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah. And then to stop that, yeah, I'm like, what am I doing to my body? Right. Interesting. Yeah, I would never have really put that together. It was just like, oh, I just have these lung issues. It's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it the whole trying so hard to not be yourself? Trying hard to not do the thing that you are here to do. But just to add on that as well, remember we're all living out our own timelines and there is divine timing. There's a reason why, you know, today is the day when that lesson landed or that energy landed in your body. You had to be here to hear it, to feel it, to have this conversation, to bring it out. Trust that timing. Like as much as some of us don't like it, it just is what it is. And so it goes back to, I can't remember who mentioned acceptance. Acceptance is what we've got to do here. It is what it is. It was what it was. You've still got plenty of time to do what you got to do to get that voice out there. I often say to authors, in particular, is like when I was writing my book, 101 Plus Ways, I made a bold decision, and I made a bold decision to publish my book, to get it published with a publisher and to make a huge investment of 30K. And I sat in that room and I said to myself, right, in 5 years' time, there are going to be women who need to read my book, who are going to be ready to read my book. In 5 years' time, there are going to be children who are going to be ready to hear me teach them from this book. I've got to do whatever I've got to do today to be ready for when that 5-year moment comes. And I cannot tell you the miracles that have happened when that 5-year moment approached. It was just like, what? So it's the same with your singing. Sing your heart out and share your voice with us, because we need it now and we need it then as well.
Mhm.
And that's a wonderful thing to hear. Like the other people need it. That was like
Yeah.
I just texted my sister that because she's like doing this amazing women's museum thing, and she gets stuck all. And I'm like, no, people need these women need this. Need for you to do this. So I have to remind myself of that too. So thank you guys, because yeah, it's a great reminder.
Mhm. Mhm. Anyone else want to jump in, ask a question, takeaways? We are here for you. So I guess the biggest well, I think we're gonna start closing up, and I think the biggest I think the biggest takeaway, I'm trying to think like what is my biggest takeaway that I would love for you to walk away with today? I do believe and I kind of I kind of wanted to dive into this idea of liking yourself. If can we dive into that real quick before we do this? Because I did this YouTube video about my ex-husband. I know you love me, but do you like me? and the answer to that question is no, he didn't like me. And when I go on dates with guys, I said, do you think your ex-wife liked you? And people are struck by that decision, that question. What? Of course she liked me. She loved me. But then they're like, I don't think she actually liked me. So I think this idea of like liking ourselves is so powerful. And I'm going to tell you, when you did your exercise, what you like about yourself, a couple of them are like, I like that I'm not perfect. I like that when I walk into a room of people I don't know, I'll probably trip over something. I mean, these are like things that I like, I like that I laugh out loud. I like my sense of humor, right? And these are things that for years, I think I liked them, but people would try to suppress them, especially men. I don't know, but like these men would say, you're laughing too loud. Why are you always tripping over things? Whatever. And I do believe that, the more that you really like yourself and fuck everybody else is like, I mean, such a mind shift, and it's so powerful. And who wants to share like a couple things they liked about themselves? Leila?
I like my giggle.
Yeah.
do you know what I actually really like about myself is like, as you were sharing yours, I was thinking about it. I like that I can talk about the secrets of the universe, that I can tap into deep, deep, deep soul wisdom. It just comes through me. But at the same time, I can come out with some really proper dumbass shit. I can say some stuff and I'm like, how can I not know how to turn that screw or whatever it might be, And I like that I have such a contrast to my personality, my ways. But it's really interesting because men, some of the men that I've connected with over the years, they don't get it. They're like, oh, why are you being so dumb or whatever it is? And it's like, well, because this is actually how I am, but I can tell you about the universe and intuition and all this stuff. So let's go there. Thank you, Aisha.
So what do you like about yourself? Someone jump in and give us a couple. Oh, we're left. The three. No, there's some of us aren't on camera. Come on, we can do it. What do you like? Oh,
A lot of shy people, but I'll say creativity.
okay.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
There's got to be some people who
Yeah.
have a lot of amazing gifts.
Yeah. So I think that we're going to close this, right? But as I said, I think the biggest takeaway is that for me, for you guys, I hope you get this, is that you are perfect as is. You know, this life is supposed to be experienced and lived imperfectly. And with, I think also enough, like being present and not just trying to rush through things that are hard. I mean, like Leila was saying earlier too, don't rush through the hard stuff. Like actually slow down and start examining. I mean, even with reflection, we're understanding, oh, these thoughts are actually living in my body. And then what is my body saying? And without slowing down, we wouldn't have ever got that type of information. So I do believe that slowing down and taking the time to reflect is super valuable. And it goes against what society is asking us to do or wanting us to do. And I would say, stop the scroll and take your time to really decide what you want, why you want it, why it's important. And not only that, but who you get to be in that pursuit. Leila, you got something?
No, I absolutely love that. And it's so, so true. It's one of those things which, when you slow down, you actually end up going faster. And this life is to be lived, it really, really is. And, there are a few of us on here, and I always believe that whoever's meant to be here is meant to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's thousands of people or one person, it's a soul to soul, heart to heart connection.
Mm-hmm.
And there's great power in that when we speak the word or the message that needed to be heard by that person or those people. And so really, I suppose to kind of bring this back is your fire, igniting your fire is about owning your life. It's about saying, like, I'm going to get emotional about this because this matters to me so, so much. Your life matters and your heartbeat is of value and of power. And your dreams are not just for you. Your dreams could bring you great joy and pain in manifesting, but actually your dreams, you manifesting your dreams and your desires is for other people. It's for humanity. And the humanity we've been moving through is not going to continue. We can't continue as we have been. And I truly do believe, and I see the evidence that feminine power is rising for a reason. We have been so suppressed and repressed on purpose, but it's our duty with the knowledge and the wisdom that we have to be courageous enough to say, you know what, I'm going to be the woman that's going to do this for other women and for the men who resonate and connect as well.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So what's going to happen next, ladies, is that I'll send out the replay, and then the links to the free gifts will be in that replay email. Because it was crazy this morning with my internet. I don't think my internet's back yet. So, but with that being said, you'll have the replay and also the links to join any of our memberships that we are offering you guys. And if you want to hop into for me this week, we're really getting into our values and clearing that up. For the next 3 weeks, we're focusing on values in the Radical Embodiment membership. Not only our core values, but also what values do you need to start adopting and embodying for you to reach, your goal as an artist or as a mom or as a wife and partner, whatever it is. Because I do believe in the core values, yes, but I also, I adopted the value of being resilient. Right. So that being resilient was not one of my core values. Now it is. Right. So we're going to work a lot on values this month and the membership. And as Leila said, being clear with your values is, I swear to gosh, it's like when you know your values and everything, it's like you're like halfway, like you catapult forward so much because you're so clear on what you will say yes and no to. Is that it? Would you agree, Leila?
100%. You become a woman who knows who she is.
Yep.
And how you walk with that is like you then step into your boundaries and standards, and you just say, well, no, that's not for me, that's not for me, that's not for me, that is for me, that is exactly what I want. Simply from knowing what is important to you, simply from knowing what your values are.
Yep. And who you get to be, like you get to choose values you want to start embodying, get to being and practicing. That's the fun of it too. As a creative, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I get to. So Leila, you want to sign us off?
Oh, do you know, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for staying until the end as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy, your presence, your interactions have been so valuable, so important to us. I really hope that you have gained, even if it's one thing, one aha moment, one goosebump, one whatever it might be. Feel free to share it with us. Connect with us on social media. You'll have all of our details and the emails going out. And share this event with others as well. You know, I think we've got a replay for a couple of days, I believe.
2 days of replays.
Share it with others, and let's just go out there and change the world and make it better than what it has been. That's what we're here for.
And we're here to also have fun and feel good about ourselves.
And all of that good stuff.
We're here to like, woo, bust out. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you for being patient with the glitch, the internet going out and all that. But again, have a beautiful rest of your day and ignite that fire within you. Do one thing today that's just going to blow it up, and have a beautiful day or evening. And we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let me